1, 2, 3, bread!
Well, hello my beautiful watchers. I have a question for you. Do you know the Beatles? Actually, don't answer. I'll just leave. Do I really have to introduce the Beatles? They are literally the best-selling musical acts in history. Me introducing them is basically the same thing as if I was introducing you to your parents. And of course, everything about the band is iconic. Everyone can name all the members. Paul McCartney, George Harrison, John Lennon, and Ringo Starr. And not everybody, but most of people can name the entire discography. Please Please Me with the Beatles, A Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale, Help, Best of the Beatles, Wait, what? It's a Christmas Miracle in June. A new Beatles album. Except it is not. Best of the Beatles was released in 1965 under a label called Savage Records, which has a logo that kinda looks like a Mexican bootleg of Capitol Records. And it's an album filled with some of the band's most classic songs. Nobody But You, Casting My Spell, Just Wait and See, and Shimmy Like My Sister Kate? Okay, you guys already got the point. This is clearly not a Beatles album. But then, what is it? Well, the answer actually lies in the Beatles themselves, believe it or not. But back in the early days of the band, when the group wasn't even fully formed yet, and instead of Ringo in the drums, there was somebody else. A guy named Pete Best, often referred as the fifth Beatle or the Beatle that time forgot. Even though there are more people that carry the title fifth Beatle than Beatles themselves. George Martin, Pete Best, Brian Epstein, who else? So at least the Beatle that time forgot is a little more unique. Best entered the band after his previous band, the Blackjacks, disbanded. And Paul invited him for two reasons. One, he had a steady pace. And two, apparently the girls around town had a crush on him, so he considered it good for the group. He played in the band for a little more than 2 years, and then got fired. The original idea of firing him came from George Martin, who didn't like his way of playing, and said he didn't give a great support for what the other members of the band were doing. The band's manager, Brian Epstein, wasn't sure about the idea, so they've originally just temporarily replaced him with a studio musician for the recordings the band was doing at the time. But it resulted in the band just realizing Best's playing wasn't matching very well with the band's work. This combined with a bunch of label drama ended up meaning that Best was out of the band, and soon enough he was replaced by Ringo.
Where's the plane?
After that he decided to keep playing music, and formed his own group, the Pete Best Combo. And in 1965, they released their first album, Best of the It's a pun with his name. Guys, you have no idea, I'm gonna kill myself! So yeah, they've released this album with this title, obviously to capitalize on Best's name and story. And also to sell to fools that didn't realize this wasn't a Beatles compilation. It's the original clickbait if you stop to think about it. Or in this case, sellbait. Needless to say, this rolled a considerable amount of people. But even if people were complaining, they got what they were told. It was Best of the Beatles. The band wasn't wrong, but it wasn't right either. Now to the real question. How does the album sound? Well, I tried listening to it and I couldn't find it on YouTube or streaming services. The only way to actually listen to it on full is if I buy a vinyl of it. Alright then, guess I'm going to... Oh my god, never mind. So yeah, I couldn't hear the album. But at least I could have a taste of it. The album's final track, Keys to My Heart, is available on YouTube. And I checked it out. Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward Mercy Beat style song. It's very similar to what the Beatles did, and it could actually be mistaken by then if it wasn't for Best's voice that is pretty different of the other Beatles. So 60s Greta Van Fleet basically. And to be real, this motivated me to someday get this LP. Right now, I'm just a pre-college student, so I can't really do that. But soon enough, I will lay my hands in this precious vinyl. And they may even do a theft about it. So, I better start saving. Yeah, this is going to take a while. And what happened afterwards? Well, the band broke up not long after the album came out. And Best pretty much left the showbiz for several years, until the mid-80s, when he formed a new band called the Pete Best Band. Impressive, this guy is really creative with band names. They were mostly a touring act for a huge fraction of their career, never releasing anything major, until 2008, when he finally released an album with this new band, Hey Man's Green. I'm kinda surprised not to call it the Pete Best album, or Best of the Beatles too. I was going to listen to it, but history repeats itself. Not available on streaming services, only one song on YouTube, and you gotta be freaking kidding with me.